Hello, and welcome back to Health Voices. I need to start today with a fact that is hard to ignore. Did you know that your risk of suffering a heart attack literally doubles after you turn the age of 65? That is not a scare tactic. It's a statistical reality from the CDC. It's a number that can make aging feel like a life sentence. But what if I told you that number is not the end of the story? What if the year you were born has less power over your future than the choices you make this morning? What if aging itself isn't the real enemy? To help us understand who the real enemy is, and more importantly, how to fight back, we are so honored to have the renowned cardiologist, Dr. David Miller, with us today, joining us from his practice in Cleveland, Ohio. Doctor, welcome. That statistic is one that I know frightens many in our audience.
Sarah, thank you for having me. And yes, that number is correct, and it is sobering. But in my opinion, it is the most misunderstood statistic in all of cardiology. Every single week in my clinic here in Cleveland, I see patients in their 70s and even 80s who are terrified by that number. They see it as an unavoidable consequence of getting older. But I am here today to tell you, and every single person watching, that it is not. Your age is not the primary cause of heart attacks. Your daily habits are.
So it is our habits, not our age, that hold the real power.
That is the truth. And the good news is you are in control of your habits. So today we are not going to give you a long, boring list of 10 things to remember. Instead, we are going to organize these powerful, life-saving habits into the key areas of your life. We are going to give you a complete roadmap, a blueprint for true, proactive, senior heart health. The heart that God gave you is designed for a long and vibrant life. Our job is simply to be good stewards of that incredible gift through our daily actions. If you are ready to stop fearing that statistic and start taking real control of your heart's future, please type 1 in the comments section right now. It is a powerful declaration to yourself and to this community that you are ready to begin.
Doctor, you've convinced us that habits, not just age, are what truly shape our heart's future. For everyone watching who just typed 1 in the comments, who are ready to take action, where do we begin? What is the first group of habits in your roadmap?
We begin with the absolute foundation, Sarah. Before we talk about any specific food or supplement, we must talk about flow. I am talking about the flow of blood through your 60,000 miles of blood vessels. If that flow is thick, slow, and struggling, no amount of healthy eating can save you. So the first 3 habits are all about ensuring your blood can flow freely and deliver life-giving oxygen to every cell in your body. The first habit is the one most people think they are doing right, but are often getting wrong. It is drinking enough water daily.
That seems so basic, but I know many seniors who actively avoid drinking too much water to prevent frequent trips to the bathroom.
It is one of the most dangerous trade-offs a person can make. I need you to think of your blood. When you are fully hydrated, your blood has the consistency of a freely flowing river. When you are dehydrated, it thickens. It becomes more like a sludge. Now, which of those do you think is harder for your heart to pump? That sludge puts immense strain on your heart muscle. It also increases the risk of blood cells sticking together and forming a deadly clot. The thirst signal weakens as we age, so you cannot wait until you feel thirsty to drink. You must make it a proactive habit. Start every single day with a full glass of water before your morning coffee. Keep a water bottle with you and sip throughout the day. If plain water is boring, add a slice of lemon or cucumber. And look for the signs. If your urine is dark yellow, that is your body begging you for water.
So hydration is the first key to flow. What is the second?
The second is getting 30 minutes of gentle movement daily. Your heart is a muscle. Like any muscle in your body, it gets weaker if you don't use it. But more than that, movement is the signal that tells your blood vessels to open up. When you walk, swim, or even do gentle chair exercises, your body produces more of that miracle molecule we've discussed before, nitric oxide. Nitric oxide tells the walls of your arteries to relax, which lowers your blood pressure naturally and improves circulation. I am not asking you to run a marathon. I am asking you to fight the urge to be sedentary. The key is consistency, not intensity. A 30-minute walk every day is more powerful for your heart than one intense hour-long workout once a week. Avoid sitting for hours on end. Get up, stretch, walk around your home. Your heart needs that rhythm.
And the third habit in this flow group, doctor?
The third habit is the one that is an absolute non-negotiable. It is avoiding all smoke. I want you to imagine the inside of your arteries. They are lined with a beautiful, smooth, delicate layer called the endothelium. It is as smooth as glass. The thousands of chemicals in cigarette smoke, especially nicotine and carbon monoxide, are like taking sandpaper to that delicate lining. They scratch it, they damage it, and they create rough spots where dangerous plaque can begin to stick and build up. Smoking directly causes your arteries to become stiff and hard. Even if you quit decades ago, I am speaking to you. Your effort was not wasted, but some damage can linger. But for those still smoking, it is never too late to quit. The body's ability to heal is profound. Within weeks of quitting, your blood pressure begins to normalize. And for those of you who don't smoke, you must avoid secondhand smoke with the same seriousness. There is no safe level of exposure. You are breathing in the same poison.
This seems to be a recurring theme here on Health Voices, that these simple, foundational habits are often the most powerful.
They are everything. Let me tell you about George, a 69-year-old retired mechanic from a suburb here in Cleveland. George came to me with that classic combination. His blood pressure was creeping up into the danger zone, and he was tired all the time. He just felt sluggish, as he put it. When we talked, the picture became clear. He was a former smoker, so he thought he was in the clear. He admitted he rarely felt thirsty, so he'd only drink a couple of glasses of water a day. And since retiring, his main hobby had become watching old movies. He was sitting for 6 to 7 hours a day. My first prescription for him wasn't a pill. I gave him a foundational flow plan. First, I had him buy a 64-ounce water bottle and told him his only job was to finish it by dinner time each day. Second, a non-negotiable 20-minute walk around his neighborhood every single morning after breakfast. Third, a strict rule, his wife, who still smoked Aka.
Doctor, those foundational habits of water, movement, and clean air make so much sense as the first step. But now we have to open the refrigerator and look in the pantry. This is where things get so confusing for so many people. What are the hidden saboteurs in our own kitchens that are working against our hearts every single day?
This is a critical area, Sarah, because the modern kitchen can be a minefield for seniors. Food companies have become absolute experts at hiding three things that I consider to be poison for an aging heart: salt, sugar, and the wrong kinds of fat. Let's start with salt or sodium. As you age, your kidneys naturally become less efficient at filtering out excess sodium. This is a normal part of the aging process, but it means that the salt you eat tends to build up in your system. And I want you to remember this simple rule of physics. Wherever sodium goes, water follows. When you retain excess sodium, your body retains excess water. This increases the total volume of blood in your arteries, forcing your heart to pump harder against this extra pressure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's like making your heart constantly work out without any rest.
And I think most people believe the danger is the salt shaker on the table.
That is the great deception. The salt shaker is almost irrelevant. Over 70% of the sodium Americans consume comes from processed and packaged foods. The real danger is hidden in places you would never suspect. Canned soups, frozen healthy dinners, sauces, deli meats, cheeses, and even your daily bread. Your goal should be to keep your sodium intake under 1,500 milligrams per day. I am challenging everyone watching. For one day, read the labels on everything you eat. You will be shocked at how quickly that number adds up. Reading labels is one of the most empowering things you can do for your senior heart health. The second saboteur is sugar. For decades, we were told that fat was the enemy of the heart. We now know from overwhelming scientific evidence that added sugar is a primary driver of heart disease. When you consume sugar or refined carbohydrates like white bread or pasta, it causes a spike in a hormone called insulin. Insulin's job is to clear sugar from your blood, but it also sends a signal to your liver telling it to start manufacturing triglycerides, which are a type of fat that flows in your blood and directly contributes to clogging your arteries. Sugar also causes body-wide inflammation. I want you to think of sugar as internal rust for your delicate blood vessels. Finally, you must be aware of the wrong kinds of fat. We're talking mainly about artificial trans fats, which you'll see on a label as partially hydrogenated oil, and an excess of saturated fats from sources like fatty red meat, processed meats like bacon and sausage, and full-fat dairy products. These fats directly raise your LDL cholesterol, the lousy or bad cholesterol that forms dangerous plaque in your arteries.
This is such a crucial message for the Health Voices community, because so many foods marketed as healthy or low-fat are often loaded with salt and sugar instead.
It is a classic bait and switch. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 74-year-old widow who came to my clinic here in Cleveland. Her cholesterol and blood pressure were slowly creeping into the danger zone, and she was so frustrated. She told me, "Dr. Miller, I don't get it. I don't eat fried foods. I don't eat dessert. I don't even add salt to my food. I'm doing everything right." I asked her to keep a simple food diary for 3 days. When she brought it back, the problem was immediately clear. For lunch, she was having a popular brand of canned vegetable soup. For dinner, she would have a healthy choice frozen meal because it was easy for her to prepare. And she would have a slice or two of whole wheat bread with each meal. On paper, it looked healthy. But when we looked at the labels together, her jaw dropped. That one can of healthy soup had 1,200 milligrams of sodium. Her frozen dinner had another 900 milligrams of sodium and 20 grams of hidden sugar in the sauce. The 2 slices of bread had another 400 milligrams of sodium. Without ever touching a salt shaker or eating a cookie, she was consuming over 2,500 milligrams of sodium and a shocking amount of hidden sugar every single day. We made a simple plan. She started making a big pot of homemade vegetable soup on the weekends that she could eat for lunch all week. We swapped the frozen dinners for simple baked fish or grilled chicken with steamed vegetables. The change was incredible. Within 3 months, her blood pressure was down in the healthy range, and her cholesterol levels improved significantly. Her body is so responsive. It's a gift designed to thrive on real, simple food. When we remove the processed chemicals, the body knows exactly what to do and begins to heal itself. I know this is a lot of information. If you've learned something new about hidden ingredients today, please type labels in the comments to show me you're committed to becoming a food detective for your own health.
Doctor, those foundational habits of water, movement, and clean air, along with cleaning up the hidden saboteurs in our kitchens, are so empowering. But what about the things happening inside our bodies that we can't see or feel? I think many people, especially if they feel generally okay, operate on the principle of, if I feel fine, I must be fine. Is that a dangerous assumption to make after 65?
Sarah, it is one of the most dangerous assumptions a person can make. I call high blood pressure and high cholesterol silent killers for a very specific reason. In their early and even advanced stages, they often have no symptoms at all. You can feel perfectly fine on Monday and have a massive life-altering heart attack on Tuesday. That is the terrifying reality. This is why, after age 60, you must shift your mindset from being a passive patient to being the CEO of your own health. And the very first job of any good CEO is to know the numbers on the balance sheet. Today, we're talking about your heart's balance sheet. There are 2 habits here: getting regular screenings and monitoring your blood pressure at home.
Let's start with the regular screenings. What specific numbers do people need to know and track?
Your annual checkup with your doctor is not a test to be passed. It is an information gathering mission. It gives us a critical snapshot of what is happening on the inside. There are a few key numbers you must know. First, your cholesterol panel. You need to know your LDL, which I call the lousy cholesterol. This is the one that builds up as dangerous plaque in your arteries. For most people, we want that number to be below 100. Then there is your HDL, which I call the healthy cholesterol. This is the one that acts like a garbage truck, clearing cholesterol out of your arteries. We want that number to be above 60. Finally, you need to know your triglycerides. These are fats in your blood that are created primarily from excess sugar and alcohol. We want that number below 150. Second, you must know your hemoglobin A1C. This is not just for people with diabetes. This number gives us a 3-month average of your blood sugar levels. It tells us if you are living in a state of chronic inflammation caused by sugar. We want this number to be below 5.7. I am going to urge everyone watching, the next time you get blood work done, ask for a copy of the results. Don't just wait for a call from the nurse saying, everything's normal. Look at the numbers yourself. Track them year over year. You are the manager of your own data.
That puts so much power back into the patient's hands. And what about the second habit? Home monitoring.
This is perhaps even more important. The most critical number of all, your blood pressure, can change day to day, even hour to hour. Checking it only once a year at the doctor's office, where you might be nervous, a phenomenon we call white coat hypertension, does not give us the true picture of what's happening in your daily life. This is why I believe every single person over the age of 60 should own a reliable, automatic home blood pressure monitor. They are inexpensive, they are available at any pharmacy, and they are easy to use. This single device can save your life.
What is the correct way to use one to get an accurate reading?
It's simple. Try to check it at the same time each day, maybe in the morning before your coffee or other stimulants. Sit quietly in a comfortable chair with your feet flat on the floor for 5 minutes first. Do not talk, just breathe. Then take 2 or 3 readings, 1 minute apart, and average them. Write that number down in a logbook. The goal for most adults is a blood pressure that is consistently below 130/80. If your numbers are consistently higher than that, you are not just a little high. You are living with one of the biggest risk factors for a heart attack or a stroke. That logbook is the powerful data you bring to your doctor.
So this isn't about diagnosing yourself at home. It's about gathering information to have a smarter, more productive conversation with your doctor.
Precisely, you become a partner in your own care. You can walk into your doctor's office and say, look, my pressure is fine here today, but here are my readings from the last 3 weeks at home. That is life-saving information. That allows us to make intelligent decisions about lifestyle and medication together. You are no longer just a passenger in your healthcare journey. You are in the driver's seat.
Doctor, we've covered our foundational habits with water and movement, the saboteurs in our kitchen, and the critical importance of knowing our numbers. The final area you wanted to discuss feels a bit different from the rest. It's not about something physical we do, but about something we feel. You call it the mind-heart connection. Can you explain what that means for everyone watching?
Sarah, this may be the most overlooked and yet most powerful factor of all. You can have a perfect diet, you can walk every day, you can take your medications perfectly, but if your mind is in a constant state of stress, worry, or loneliness, you are still bathing your system in a toxic chemical soup. Your thoughts and your feelings are not just in your head. They create real, physical, chemical changes in your body that directly impact your heart. Let's talk about stress. When you feel stressed, whether it's from watching frightening news, worrying about your finances, or feeling the ache of loneliness, your brain sends out an emergency alarm signal. This triggers your adrenal glands to release 2 powerful stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline.
These are the fight or flight hormones, correct?
Exactly. They were designed by God to help you escape a real physical threat, like a predator. In that short-term situation, they are life-saving. But here is the problem in our modern world. We are activating this system all day, every day. When these stress hormones are chronically elevated, they are toxic to your heart. They directly raise your blood pressure. They constrict your arteries. They dump sugar into your bloodstream. And they fuel body-wide inflammation. Living with chronic stress is like constantly revving your car's engine in the red zone. Eventually, that engine will break down. This is why managing stress is not a luxury. It is a critical medical necessity for senior heart health, and it does not have to be complicated. I'm talking about simple daily practices, 10 minutes of deep, slow breathing, a quiet walk in nature without your phone, listening to calming music, talking to a friend you trust, keeping a journal of things you are grateful for. These small acts send a powerful signal to your nervous system that says, you are safe, you can power down, you can relax.
And this connects to the final habit from the original list, which was about consistency. How does stress management relate to that?
It is the master key that unlocks everything else. The single most important habit to protect your heart after 65 is consistency. The other habits, drinking water, walking, eating well, are the what. Consistency is the how. Your body, and especially your heart, thrives on rhythm, predictability, and safety. When you are consistent with your healthy habits, you send a profound signal of safety and stability to your nervous system. This lowers cortisol, it lowers adrenaline. It tells your body, we are cared for. We are not in a state of emergency. That is why a 20-minute walk every day is more healing for your heart than a 2-hour hike once a month. The consistency itself is the medicine. Let me tell you about Eleanor, a 70-year-old patient of mine. Her blood pressure readings were a mystery. They would be perfect for a week, and then they would spike into the danger zone for a few days, even though her diet and medication hadn't changed. I had her start adding a little note to her blood pressure log. What was my stress level today from 1 to 10? The pattern was undeniable. The days leading up to a difficult family visit or after a worrying phone call, her blood pressure would be sky high. Her emotional stress was having a direct, physical, dangerous effect on her heart. So, my prescription for her wasn't just another pill. I prescribed her 10 minutes of absolute quiet time every morning with a cup of herbal tea and no television news, and 5 minutes of slow, deep breathing before bed. She came back a month later and her blood pressure log was stable for the first time in a year. She learned that managing her mind was a direct way of managing her heart. We must care for our inner peace with the same dedication that we care for our bodies. A quiet mind and a grateful heart are powerful medicine. I believe God gave us the ability to find peace through prayer, through gratitude, and through quiet contemplation. Using that gift is as important as any pill I could ever prescribe.
Doctor, that is such a crucial reminder about the power we have over our own well-being, both inside and out. And it leads me to the final, and perhaps most important, point we need to make today. We have shared so much valuable information, and our goal here at Health Voices is always to empower you with knowledge that you can use. But we must insist that you remember this. This conversation is for educational and informational purposes only. We are not your personal doctors. Dr. David Miller does not know your specific health history, the medications you are taking, or the conditions you are managing. So please, treat this information as the starting point for a conversation with your own healthcare provider. Before you make any significant changes to your diet, your exercise routine, or your stress management techniques based on what you've heard today, please make that phone call. Talk to your doctor. Talk to your pharmacist. They are your primary partners in managing your health, and every important decision should always be made with their direct guidance and approval. That is an essential and non-negotiable step for everyone. Thank you, doctor. Today, we have learned that the key to a healthier heart after 65 isn't a single magic bullet, but a series of powerful daily habits. It's about the foundational flow of water and movement, avoiding the hidden saboteurs in our kitchen, the empowerment of knowing your numbers, and the profound mind-heart connection. Dr. Miller, on behalf of our entire community, thank you for giving us such a clear and hopeful roadmap today. Do you have one final thought for our viewers?
My final thought is this. A heart attack often builds slowly from thousands of small, harmful choices made over time, but a strong, healthy heart is also built the exact same way. One good choice at a time. Every time you choose water over soda, a walk over the couch, or a moment of calm over stress, you are casting a vote for a longer, healthier life. That is the greatest gift you can give to yourself and to the God who gave you that precious heartbeat. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. And to all of you, our viewers, thank you for investing this time in your health. If you found this conversation valuable, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more life-saving content, and share it with a friend or family member who needs this information. And finally, we would love to hear from you in the comments. Let's make a commitment together. What is the one habit you will begin this week? Share it below to inspire our entire community. Thank you for watching.